Good morning and welcome to the Oasis Center for Spiritual Living, where we come together as one, providing spiritual tools for daily living. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Reverend Tucker. I'm the senior minister here at the Oasis. And I have this really great team that God provides me with that I get to manage. And so I always like to introduce them next. First of all, there's my Faith. Faith has been my assistant really since the day she was born. She used to sit on I'd sit her up on the pulpit with me while I did announcements. And when she was able to crawl, her dad would just like let her go and she'd crawl up there really fast. It was really cute. And then she and her sister used to give out the affirmation cards at the end of the service every week. But now she's 17 and my official assistant and our soloist. So I'm really blessed to be able to have Faith on the team. So thank you, Faith, for being here. And then there's the wise and powerful Oz, who's been my partner in crime since the 90s. He was my board president for many, many years and took his practitioner training with me. He was my first baby practitioner. And he does the praying in and praying out, and he's available at the end for our 1-minute miracle. So we're really, really blessed to have you with us now that he lives in Florida and we're back together. I love it. Thank you for being here, Oz. It's always hard when you have a team and then they move somewhere. But this day and age with the way we're doing church now, perfect. It works out great. Our topic today is based on my book, 10 Weeks on the Road to Prosperity, which is centered around a road trip. It's a metaphor of a road trip. And this is week 7. And this week we're going to be talking about receptivity. It's our Receptivity Stop. So tune in for more information as we go. Also, the music that we do every week, we do We Are All One from Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver, and we do Karen Drucker's I Am So Blessed every week. So I'd like to give a shout out to those two who are allowing us to use their music in our service. So we're really blessed. And we're also equally blessed to have you here as well. There's 1,000 things you could be doing on a Sunday morning. We're glad you're here with us. So thank you for being here. And I'd like to say, when we're in a facility, I can look out in the audience and see who's here, but I don't have that ability here on this software. So please say hi, hello, good morning, however you'd like to greet us. Let us know you're here. I always like to know who is here. So please take care of that. All right. Also, if you would like to do a watch party, there's a little watch party button. It's a great way for you to introduce what we teach to your friends. We're a teaching philosophy, not a preaching philosophy. So you can introduce your friends to our philosophy and talk amongst yourselves, and you won't bother anybody because you're at home, right? All right. Please close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Allow the service to uplift and inspire you as we move into our centering song.
The presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. God is in this place.
Presence of God right here, right now, for God is always present. God is infinite. God is eternal, in all spaces and all times, and all space-time continuums. For it is the one thing that penetrates all of existence, all of being, and all potential, all probable universes, as well as our own, are inhabited by this one great source that we call God. And know that it is in me and in each of you always, no matter where you are, no matter when you are. For God is always present, as we know it, in all things, as all things, in me as me, in you as you. I know this is a blessing, and I see it rolling forth in beauty and abundance. And I know that perfect health and perfect timing are ours to claim. And I claim that in my name and in your name, knowing that God makes it so, as all things. I know this is a blessing, and I give thanks for it, and I let it be, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Oz. So the next song, as I said, is from Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver. It is We Are All One. We sing it every week. If you know the words, sing along and sing it loud and sing it proud, because you can't bother anybody, right?
We are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it. I hear it and know it, my being. Spirit is all I am seeing. For God is all there is. Grateful am I to be living, open to what I receive, honoring what I've been given, sharing now what I believe. I remember the oneness around me. I surrender to infinite light, knowing the love that's surrounding me is within me by day and night. And we are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it. Yes, we are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it.
Oh my goodness, we are all one. Please say hi or good morning or hello. When we're in a facility, I can always see who's out there and know who my audience is. Unfortunately, with this software, I do not have that capability. So the best way is to let me know you're here. Say hi, hello, good morning, whichever way you feel most comfortable. I also want to say quickly that God is my word. It doesn't have to be your word. As I'm speaking, you can use universe, great spirit, Allah, whatever word works for you. You do not have to be tied to my word. My word is God. All right. If you hear something that you like, make sure and use that thumbs up button. Let us know whether that's something I say or Faith sings or whatever, even the prayer that Oz gives. If you like, send those thumbs up. If you love it, send us a heart. We love to get loved. And if something I say or something that comes up in a song or something really strikes you as powerful, please let us know by pressing the wow button. It lets me know that I'm on target, that I'm really touching people, or that God's touching people through me. All right. Without further ado, I would love to announce that Faith is going to sing Are You Ready to Receive, a Karen Drucker song.
For our patients, for our communities.
Here at the Prince.
Sorry guys, YouTube has ads and so that's not fun. There we go. Are you ready to receive? Are you ready to receive? Are you ready to receive? Are you ready to receive the gifts of the goddess? I am ready to receive. I am ready to receive. I am ready to receive. I am ready to receive the gifts of the goddess. I am ready to be healed. Are you ready to be healed? Are you ready to be healed? Are you ready to be healed from the gifts of the Spirit? I am ready to be healed. I am ready to be healed. I am ready. I am ready to be healed. I am ready. The gifts of the Spirit to receive. I am ready to receive. Yes, I am ready. I am ready. I am ready. Gifts of the universe.
Thank you, Faith. I don't know if I said that's a Karen Drucker song. Thank you very much. All right. So I'm asking you, are you ready to receive? Are you ready to receive your good? We've been told all of our lives that it is better to give than receive. Did you get that message when you were a kid? It's better to give than receive. Well, Dr. Ernest Holmes, our founder, says giving and receiving are the same thing. Interesting idea, right? You cannot give if there's no receiver to receive the gift. And you can't receive if there's no giver to give the gift. You see what I'm saying? So if the receiver is not willing to receive your gift, you can't even give it. And giving and receiving are just part of the same circuit. It's the law of circulation in action. Participate with me just for a moment. I want you to draw in a huge breath and then hold it, okay? Hold it. Now take in some more and hold it. Now take in some more and hold it. Oh, God, release. You can't take in anymore. And that's really what happens to us with all of the world. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're talking about relationships, health, finances, anything. You have to be able to keep that law of circulation in motion. You have to let go of things and receive. Let go meaning, giving, the giving side. Give love if you want to receive love. Give health to yourself if you want to receive health. You see what I'm saying? Like, it has to be a giving and receiving cycle because it is part of the same circuit. Giving and receiving are. And so we've been doing all this work with affirmations, visualization, visioning, praying, but it's all for nothing if we're not in the circulatory system, if we are not in the law of circulation, or if we say, I can't receive, the universe says, okay, I'm not going to give you anything else, right? What good is all the work we've been doing when our mind rejects anything coming to us because we think we can't receive? And so one of the reasons we work on belief systems, learn what our belief systems are and work with them is because that's what's in the way of our receiving a healthy relationship, good health, money, prosperity. That's what's in the way, is this belief that I can't have that I don't deserve it, that I can't receive it. One of the reasons we work so much on gratitude is that it opens us to receiving. And it's really an important process in working on those limiting beliefs and then giving thanks for that which we have already received. Beliefs are really interesting while I'm on that topic. Because what we believe about receiving, it can change any of the limiting beliefs that keep us from being able to receive more. So we have to look at what we believe. If we think it's bad to receive, how in the world are we going to be able to? By the time we are 7 years old, we have built scripts that govern our entire life. And until we do something like start practicing what we teach in religious science or something else to interrupt that cycle, we're going to be stuck in that same script that we developed by the time we were 7 years old. And so looking at beliefs is so important. I know, like, I had a couple of ahas as I was going through life because I was taught that it was better to give than to receive. And along with that came, I was born, I just came out of the womb this way, with the idea that I had to do it all myself. It was really interesting because my parents would try to help me with something and I'd be like, no, I want to do it myself. I would do all these little tantrums, And so when I look at my beliefs about things like that, like, for instance, it's bad to receive, it's better to give, whatever. I had to really do some work around that. I had to really focus on why it would be bad to receive. Why would I not receive? Why did I feel like it was not okay for people to give to me? And as I was doing that, I started uncovering this helping thing, this idea that I had to do everything myself. Not only could I not let other humans help me, but I didn't believe that I could let God help me. And so I had a couple of ahas. One was, I was working with a practitioner. We have licensed practitioners that will help you through some of these spiritual crises that you are in until you can do it for yourself. But I was working with this practitioner and she said something like, you have to ask God for help. And I was like, first of all, we don't ask anybody anything. In religious science, we teach that we don't ask. And she said, okay, then state and release. But you really, really have to be able to state that you want help and then allow God to help you. And it was an interesting concept for me because I thought nobody could help me. I mean, take our church, for example. When we first started this church, it was really funny. We were in a hotel and all of the stuff was stored at our house. And so every Sunday morning we would get up, load up the car, go to the hotel, and we got there like an hour and a half early, and we would set up everything, do sound checks and everything, and be ready to receive the congregation as they came in. And then at the end of the service, we would break everything down, put it in our car, go back home, unload it, and put it away. Now I ask you, how many times can you do that all by yourself and not let other people help you? So it was a real aha moment for me when I realized, hey, people would probably like to help. I think somebody had said to me one time, hey, you guys do this all by yourself. Do you mind if I help? And I thought, do I mind if you help? Of course not. But I had to look at what I was thinking in my head was that I had to do it all myself. And so I got on the phone and I started asking people, would you be willing to be part of the setup team? Would you be willing to be part of the breakdown team? And people were jumping at the chance. And I thought, God, I was really not allowing them to give. I wasn't receiving what they had to offer because I wasn't willing to ask for help. And what's really true is, it's okay to ask people. People generally like to help. And it's okay to ask God or state to God, I need help with this. And allow God to help you. It's really interesting when you think about how this all works. Like when I was in the school ministry, we did this little exercise where we took a roll of quarters and I went to Safeway and stood outside the store and tried to give quarters to people. And their reactions were just amazing. Because as soon as you would offer a quarter to somebody, they'd be like, what's the catch? Or they would go, no, and walk away because they thought that something else was coming. Very few people, I would say maybe 1% of the people, that I stood out there for a couple hours. I would say maybe 1% of the people actually received the quarter that I was trying to give them, which is really an interesting idea to look at human behavior, to really understand what people's beliefs are about things. So one of the beliefs that I looked at and saw in people and realized in myself was that if somebody's willing to give me something, there must be a catch. There must be something that they want in return. I can't just receive it and be okay with that. Have you ever gone to lunch with somebody and they offer to pay for your meal? And you go, oh, no, that's okay. I got this. Or, are you sure you want to do that? It's fascinating because I do that all the time. Well, I used to do that all the time. Let me put it this way. It still happens in my head. I'll go to lunch. Somebody will offer to pay for my lunch. And there's this gap in between them offering and me saying, oh, okay, that'd be great. Thank you. Because in my mind, I'm going, oh, I can't really receive that. I can't really do that. I need to pay for this. Because all of my life, I have been like that. I have been the one that has provided for everyone. And as I look back on all of that, I realized how many opportunities I did not give someone else to be able to give to me. So I wasn't ready to receive. So we're going to look at our beliefs. We're going to look at how those limiting beliefs keep us from our good. And it doesn't matter, again, whether that's prosperity or it's health or it's relationships. I mean, like health, for example. I had this friend who lived in California who was in a car accident, who broke her pelvis. I mean, just shattered her pelvis. And it took like a year and a half before she moved back here. And she had gone to acupuncture. She had gone to all these things and nothing worked. And she was in this excruciating pain all the time. And so I said to her, I see this wonderful acupuncturist who is a diplomat status, which means she can teach others. And I said, she's been remarkable in, how she's helped me. And she said, well, I don't believe acupuncture works. And I said, well, do me a favor. Go, I will pay for the first session. You go to her, but I want you to remain open to the possibility that what she does will help you. I said, you don't have to believe in it. All you have to do is be open to that possibility, because what I hear from you now is saying that it's an impossibility. So if you'll go there with the idea that it's possible for her to heal your pain, then I'll pay for that session. And then after that, you can decide whether you want to continue or not. So she had had probably 10 or 12 acupuncture sessions while she was in California. And she came to Colorado, went to my acupuncturist once with an open heart and an open mind. And she was healed. Not that it was like all the pain was gone in one session, but the pain was alleviated to the point where she felt like it was an idea that she could continue doing. And it did eventually help her with all of her pain. And so I want us to understand that idea that we have to be open to the possibility of our receiving something. If health is what you're after, you want to be open to the possibility of being healthy, of something working to get you there. And if it's a relationship, for example, if you've been hurt a lot of times, you may think to yourself, well, I have to protect myself. I can't possibly let that person in. Well, what happens is we build this wall, and the wall doesn't just keep that out, it keeps everything out. Our good is dependent on our being open to receive. And so as we go through life, if we're not open to receive love, then we need to work on that. So all of this that I'm talking about today is applicable to that. It's applicable to either health, relationships, or money. Those are the only three things that exist on this planet when you really get down to it. And if we think it's bad to receive, how in the world are we going to be able to? What do we believe about receiving? And we need to really work on changing those limiting beliefs that keep us from being able to receive more. For instance, if your parents were poor and you start to do well, you start to sabotage yourself so you cannot do better than your parents. It's amazing. It's remarkable. These studies that they've done of people who were raised in poor households, and they look at the ones that were successful and they look at the ones that weren't successful. The ones that were successful used visualizations, affirmations, all of those things that I've been teaching you to overcome those patterns. That's how they overcame the patterns so that they could do better than their parents. The ones that made a lot of money and lost most of it, trace it back to what their parents made on an annual basis, and that's what they actually kept. Isn't that fascinating? There's actually studies and actual results that show that. See, you cannot fill a cup with more than it can handle. It just flows out and flows overflows. And pretty soon you can't put any more in. Remember that exercise at the very beginning where we were bringing in all this breath and we didn't release any of it? Well, you can't do that. You have to expand your cup in order to receive more. And part of that is the giving and receiving. Part of the mental equivalent is building a bigger cup. And how we build a bigger cup is by working on, first of all, those beliefs, but secondly, also recognizing that there is more in the universe than we see. Remember that movie with Marlee Matlin? Gosh, what was the name of that movie? I've got it in my notes here. I'm kind of going out of order of my notes for some reason. What the Bleep Do I Know? Is that what it was called? I think it was What the Bleep Do I Know? Anyway, so she's watching it's based on quantum physics, and she's watching this kid play basketball, and he's shooting hoops, and she turns her back at some point, and all these basketballs are flying everywhere, bouncing around, and she doesn't see them. And then she turns back around and there's only one basketball and the kid's playing with it. And then she turns back around and all these basketballs are bouncing all over the world, all over the place. And so that's what happens to us. God has this huge picture, the wider picture that takes into account everything that's possible in the universe. You and I see about this much. And because we see only this much, our mental equivalent only allows for this much. But if we are to expand our mental equivalence and say, in God, all things are possible, in the universe, all things are possible, then we are open to the possibility of more. So that's what I want to talk about today. The beliefs, the limiting beliefs are one thing. That's a whole thing that we have to work on. What are your limiting beliefs? Everyone's different, I remember at 10 years old, I was working at my dad's Dairy Delight. We were raised in an entrepreneurial household where we worked our butt off. And Dad used to say, that's work ethic. You need to have a work ethic. And we all started working when we were like 10 years old. And I remember that we worked 8-hour shifts in the summertime. I worked 8-hour shifts at 10 years old. After the lunch rush was over, I would go in the refrigerator and make the pickle bins and all of that to make hamburgers, and the dilly bars, get those ready to go in the freezer and all of that. But it was that work ethic that said to me, you have to work your butt off to make money. And what turned out to be the case for me is that I ended up working 2 or 3 jobs most of my life because I felt like I had to work so hard for that money. I had this belief that I had to get rid of things as soon as possible so I could work hard to make more money, because you can't make money if you're not motivated. And if you have everything that you need, you're not motivated, right? And so it completely cycled through my life that way, to where no matter how hard I worked, I never had enough money. And I brought in a ton of money. I'm really good at bringing in money. That's not the problem. The problem is getting rid of it so I can make more money. And so I've had to really look at those beliefs and understand that you don't have to struggle. You don't have to struggle for a relationship. You don't have to struggle for health. That's just something that's in your mind about it. In order to receive, you have to get your mind ready for that receiving. You see, you have to prepare the soil, so to speak. And one of the ways we do that is we look at those limiting beliefs. So I invite you to put your mind to, what is your limiting belief? What is it that interferes with your ability to receive? I'm not worthy. That's a challenge you need to look at, because almost everybody has a little nugget of I'm not worthy in the back of their mind. And if you don't believe that you're worthy of receiving money, then you're never going to receive money. You see, you're worthy just because you are. You don't have to prove that you're worthy. We spend a lot of our time trying to prove that we're worthy of receiving. We're worthy of a good relationship. We're worthy of having great health. We're worthy of having money. God created you out of itself. And so if we're made of God, how could God not be worthy? You see what I'm saying? So we are worthy from the moment we are conceived. We are worthy already. We don't have to prove to anybody that we are. I invite you to look at that belief in particular, but every belief that is limiting you as we go through the next coming weeks. I've said this before, it is vitally important that you look at those limiting beliefs and understand where they came from and understand how to fix them. Now, there's going to be some beliefs that you're not ready to let go of, and that's fine. But you need to understand which ones you are willing to get rid of, which ones you're willing to change, which ones that affect you the most. What is your script? You see, it's very important, because that script is going to determine the rest of your life. And if you can understand what those limiting beliefs are and work with them, then anything that you do proactively, like affirmations, visualization, as we've been talking about, or today, what we're going to talk about is spiritual mind treatment. And as long as you have done all that prep work, then you are open to receive. Okay. So I like this little acronym, RURTR. I don't even know if I probably should have had that set up here. Let me see if I have. I think I did at one point. Oh, nope, I don't. Okay, well, RURTR is an acronym for our spiritual mind treatment. Now, that's our form of affirmative prayer. And it's very different from other people's prayers. Most people are taught this idea of prayer as a beseeching. Please, God, can I have it? Because we're not worthy, right? And so we have to really work with that, because God, first of all, we don't believe in a 911 God. We believe in a God that always says yes. And all we have to do is state our intention for what we want, be very clear about our intention, as I talked about last time. And as we're being very clear about our intention, we're allowing God to fill in the blanks. State it, and allow God. State it and allow God. That's the process. And so changing our own consciousness is what spiritual mind treatment is about. That's why we call it treating our consciousness, why we call it spiritual mind treatment, is because we are treating our consciousness, our own awareness, to be like that of the awareness of God. Not just this little slice of what we see, but changing our awareness so that we can experience everything that God has in store for us. We change our consciousness to vibrate how God sees us, sees and hears and experiences the world, right? We have this wonderful group of licensed practitioners that will help you through this process because they've been trained to do that. And they do charge a fee, but you're not paying for a prayer. Let me explain what you're charging for, what they're charging for. They are charging for the time that it takes for them to elicit what your limiting beliefs are. And then they will pray on those requests every day for a week or a month or whatever they determine is their, what you're paying for. And what you're paying for is the time it takes them to do those prayers every day for whatever period that is. But I want to make you aware that we do have licensed practitioners that will help you through this until you're able to do it for yourself. So we start out with a presumption that this is already done. And that is one of the most beautiful parts of this, is that we aren't looking out into the future and saying, oh, maybe someday I will have that. We're saying, no, it's ours now. It is done now. You remember in the Bible many times that what Jesus was saying is, thank you, Father, that thou hearest me now. He started out everything with a thanksgiving statement. And that's a real important thing. And it also changes our mind about what we can receive. Ernest Holmes says, treatment changes the mind of the one praying by changing our perception to be in alignment with spiritual truth. It is this perception that has an effect on the life of the one praying or the person who has requested the treatment. See, when our practitioners are praying for you, they're treating their consciousness. They're not doing anything to you. They are treating their consciousness to be open to receive what it is that you are working towards. And they just take what they're doing and add it to the lake of receptivity. Remember a few weeks ago, I talked about this big sea of receptivity or lake of receptivity, where everything that we think, say, and do is added into this lake of receptivity that just sits out there, and you're free to accept it. So they open this pathway for you to receive your good. It means that the perception of wholeness creates a well body. It means the perception of abundance creates abundance. It means that the perception of the love of God creates a relationship that feeds you mentally, emotionally, physically, you see. The perception of lack creates more lack. I don't know how many of you have read or listened to Eric Braeden on the power of prayer, or the lost form of prayer, the lost art of prayer, whatever. I don't know. He does this whole thing about newly discovered in 1980. We've been teaching this stuff since like 1927. It's not really a lost, but he does have a great way of expressing it. Ernest Holmes says, prayer is its own answer. Before our prayer is formed in words, the possibility of its answer already exists. So the utterance of the words is for our benefit. In such degree, he continues on, in such degree that the answer and the result is contingent upon any existing circumstances, any known existing fact, no matter how apparent, the treatment is not in the absolute, it is in the relative, and is necessarily conditioned by the contingent that is held in mind. So when I pray from the circumstances that I'm experiencing, instead of praying from spiritual truth, I cause the answer to be answered according to those very circumstances that I'm trying to change. So how Eric Braeden does this, he travels all over the world. Like he went to Tibet and he saw these monks healing people, and he went to New Mexico and decided that, there was a drought in New Mexico, and he decided that he was going to ask for a rain dance from this Native American. I've studied enough with Native Americans to tell you what the Native American was thinking at that moment. Stupid white person. But it's okay. Like they just, they get asked this weird stuff. So he goes, okay, yeah, I'll go do a rain dance for you. So he puts on his shoes. They go up the mountain. He takes off his shoes. He stands there and he breathes. And then he puts his shoes back on and he says, okay, come on, let's go back. And Eric Braden is like, hey, wait a minute. I wanted you to do a rain dance. And the guy says, I can't pray for rain because that's admitting there is no rain. He said, I pray rain. I put my feet on the earth and I imagine myself feeling the mud between my toes and I feel the rain on my skin. And I pray rain and rain comes. And so if you're praying for something, you are experiencing the lack of it. You see, if you're praying something, not praying for, but praying something, it is with the assumption that you have already received it. It is putting your whole body, your feelings, your thoughts, your actions, everything into the idea that you are now already receiving that thing. When we pray against lack, we create more lack. Yeah, what the bleep do I know was the Marley Maton thing. God doesn't change up on us. And so if I want to be an author, God isn't going to come down and say, nah, you're going to be a hash waitress in Kansas. That's not going to happen. God doesn't change up on us. So it's very important for us to realize that once we've placed our intention into the universe and said, this is what I want, God will fill in those blanks. I thought I had to have all the answers when I became a minister, that you guys expected me to all have all the answers. That's impossible. That's an impossible thing that I was expecting of myself, you see. I don't know that much. Really, honestly, I don't know that much. I was trained. I have a certain amount of knowledge, yes, but I'm forever discovering how much I don't know. And that's the place we need to come from, is that we don't have all the answers, but there is a part of us, a God presence within us that does have all the answers. It's so interesting because people will come to me and they will let me know what situation they're in. And then they'll say, what do you think I ought to do? And I say, I don't know. What do you think you ought to do? And they're like, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. And I'm like, there is something in you. There's a God presence within you that has all the answers and that knows what you should do. So you need to ask that God presence within you, what is it that I need to do? And do that. So today's tool in reaching a better mental equivalence, in manifesting, if you will, is our spiritual mind treatment. Again, you're treating your consciousness to be in alignment with God. That's why we call it a mind treatment. And there are 5 steps. Are you ready to receive? R, yeah. The first R in Are You Ready to Receive is the recognition step. The recognition step is the awareness that there is something more powerful than our human awareness is even aware of, that God is simply all there is, that there can't be 2 powers. If they were equally powerful, they would cancel each other out, right? And so there can't be something in the universe that is greater than God, right? That is more powerful than God, because otherwise we wouldn't see good in the world. And so what we have to come to the conclusion of is that God is the most powerful presence in the world. And so what we say is God is simply all there is, all there ever has been, all there ever will be, only God. You see? The second step is unification. That's the RU. The unification step is about recognizing that because we are made of God and God is all there is, then we are connected by it, through it, as it. We are connected, all people, all things. This desk that I'm speaking from, this computer that allows me to speak, that allows God to reach you through me. All of this is connected. There is no place where God is not. And so because there is no place that God is not, God is who and what I am, my very essence, my very life, my very being, who and what I am. And every thought, every action, every deed is guided and led by that infinite presence within me. That is God. The wisdom of the ages lives within me. And in recognizing that, in unifying there, I need to also unify everyone else with me. You see, there is only one power, one presence, and it operates through faith, through Oz, through Lynn, through the team that God has provided me to manage. We are one. And we are one in every action, every thought, every deed. So God is actually working through us to do those actions which are to be done by us. You see? And then, as a practitioner, as a minister here in the service, I always unify everyone who is present, who's watching this, whether that's in real time or later on. For we are all one. Mataku yasin. There's no place where one person leaves off and the other begins. There is only one life, one power, one presence, one being in and through all of life. The flowers, the trees, the bees, the dogs, the cats, the reptiles, the fish, the plant life, me, you, everyone. There is only one power, one presence in the universe, and it operates through us. Now, I don't want you to think that this is a beehive mentality. I've listened to a couple of people on TikTok who reject the idea of oneness because of the beehive mentality. It doesn't mean that you're not unique. We are unique. When you look at a snowstorm, you don't go, that snowflake is not unique because it's all snow, right? Every snowflake is unique. So we are all unique. We are all individualized expressions of that one life, that one God, universe, spirit, Allah, whatever you want to call it. We are all one in that. Okay? So the unification step is all about that, focusing on not only the oneness, but how the oneness runs through. And so when I teach my students, not only prac training, by the way, because I get them from all kinds of churches. I don't know how they've been taught. So we start right away in, okay, you spend a half a page on realization and half a page on unification. Why is this? Because you wouldn't go out and throw a bunch of seed out in your garden, right? Well, you might. And you might get some blossoms. You might get something. No, what we do is we go out and we prepare the soil. We get in there and we dig the soil up and we trench it and we, turn it over and we do all of this prep work. And we might fertilize it. We dig a hole, we put the seed in it, we cover it up, we water it, we make sure that everything is prepared so that that seed can take hold and grow, right? And so the first two steps of treatment, very much like meditation, are preparing your mind to receive the next step, which is realization. In the realization step, you will notice that it's very much like an affirmation. We do it in the here and now as if it is already happening. You see, I have already received my good. I already have a perfect relationship. I already have perfect health. I already have prosperity in my life in the form of blah, 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 blah. You see, it's only a couple statements. Is it, one or two sentences? Because by that point, you have made your mind ready to receive that information as true. You see? And then we have the Thanksgiving step. Just like what Jesus did, we are expressing thanksgiving for the idea that God has already given us that. We don't go back and say, I'm really grateful for abundance. I'm really grateful for love. I'm really grateful for wholeness. We don't do that. We say, my heart I'm going to get into the feeling of it. My heart fills with gratitude to know that this is so, to know it is done, to be in service of this way. Whatever it takes for you to get into the feeling of gratitude without going back and picking up the issue. We don't want to go back to the issue at all. All we want to do is express our gratitude. And usually that's 1 or 2 sentences at the most. And then the final step, which all of the steps are important, but I think this last one is probably the most critical to a spiritual mind treatment being effective, to an affirmative prayer being effective. And that is the release step. In the release step, we are letting go of this because we know it's done. So it's going to be a simple statement like, I let go and I let God, or I release this into the universe, or however you need to get to where you release it. Doesn't mean that you're not going to pray on it again. But what it does mean is that for this moment, I am releasing it completely. Dr. Fred, one of my mentor ministers, Dr. Fred Vogt, used to say, you know, we don't plant a seed and then go into the garden and dig it up every 5 minutes to make sure it's growing. And yet we do that with prayer. I personally like the idea that it's like mailing something in the post office. Okay. I don't put the letter in the box and then wait for the postman to come, post girl, post person, to come and pick up the mail, and then follow that person down to the post office, and then go into the post office and watch them sort the mail to make sure that that letter goes into the right bin or whatever. And I don't follow that piece of mail to the receiver to make sure it got there, right? But we do that with prayer. See, I always thought that I had to micromanage God, like most of us do. We think we have to monitor every part of the process and be very involved in it. No. We have stated our desire, we've prepared our mind, we've prepared the soil, and we have stated our intent by that realization step. We have expressed gratitude in our heart, so that all that is left now is to let go and let God. Allow God to fill in the blanks. Allow God to process what we have just said. We let go and we let God. We release it. Are you ready to receive? Are you willing to work on that this week? Now you can write out I actually prefer that you write them out, because I think you get more focused if you write them out. But if you're really good at this, if you've been doing it for a long time, you can certainly do it out loud if you'd like. But you're going to write a purpose statement. Remember last week I talked about a purpose statement. You're going to write a purpose statement. You want to make sure it matches what you're going to be praying about. And then you're going to write the first step, realization. God is simply all there is, all there ever has been, all there ever will be. I want you to keep going until you feel that idea that God is all there is. And then you're going to do your unification step. And you're going to write as much as you need to where you get to the place where you understand that you are made of God. God, since God is simply all there is, that is who and what you are. And every thought, every action, every deed is guided and led by that one infinite power, that one infinite presence that is God. You're going to write a realization step in the here and now. I have already received this. I already have the perfect relationship that feeds me emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. I already have a body that is healthy and whole, that functions perfectly in every way. I already have prosperity in the form of, I don't know, $5,000 a month or more. My favorite one is I attain and maintain an income of $5,000 more or more a month. You see? That's it. We're going to give thanks for it. I am grateful to know that this is so. And I just let it be. And so it is, right? We don't have to say amen, but if it feels more comfortable to say amen because you were taught that's how you end prayer, go for it. I'm not going to pray out because I just did. I know that every condition that anyone is receiving is now cleared through that infinite power, that infinite presence of God that is in and through that situation. And I claim it and name it for them. I give thanks for it. I declare it good and very good, and it is done And so it is. Amen. That's my prayer. All right. Now is the time, our opportunity to receive your gifts, tithes, and offerings, and your opportunity to express your gratitude for that which you have already received. If you're working the program, you will be giving 7% of your income for the week. If you are already giving that, please don't go back. You will give yourself $700 for giving that 7% plus the 7%. Whatever you gave in the 7%, you're going to give yourself that money to in your spiritual journal, your spiritual bank account. All of a sudden, I can't think. You're going to give yourself $100 for getting up in the morning and greeting the day with positivity. Thank you for this day, Spirit, whatever. You're going to give yourself gratitude breaks during the day, $100 each time you do that. At night, you're going to do a gratitude journal, $500 for listing 5 things that you are grateful for. You're going to give yourself $100 for doing your affirmation each time. So you do 10 of them 10 times a day. That's 100. That's $10,000. Give yourself $10,000. Every time you do your visualization, every time you do one of these spiritual practices, you're going to give yourself $100. You're going to get $100 for coming to church today, but you're also going to get $700 for giving 7% or more. And you're going to give yourself the equivalent of the 7% that you are giving in this offering. So here's your opportunity to do that. Please go to oasiscsl.org. I can't speak all of a sudden. I think I use all my words during the sermon, and then I don't have any words left. I don't know. Anyway, you're going to go to oasiscsl.org. Faith has put it on the screen. It is also in the comments section. In the middle of the page, that first page, you're going to see an offering affirmation. I'm going to have you do it with me. And it doesn't matter whether you're doing this in real time or you're doing this later. You can do it with us. So right now is the time. Go to oasiscsl.org. Go to the middle of the page and say this offering affirmation with me. This perfect gift is spirit in form, circulating and blessing all it touches. Freely I give and joyously I receive. And so it is. All right. Click on that Contribute Now button as you enter into the law of circulation with this gift. All right. We have a ministry of prayer, as I said, where you can say whatever you would like treatment for in the comment section. If you don't want to do it publicly, you can message one of us. And our team of licensed practitioners we call the God Squad will pray every day on those requests for a week. So take advantage of this loving service they provide. And know that our licensed practitioners are available by appointment for a fee for spiritual guidance. You reach out to them through video chat. Well, actually, you reach out to them, I guess, by email, and then they tell you whether they're using Cash App or Venmo or PayPal or whatever form of payment they are taking. And then they will reach out to you by video chat. We have Oz available at the end of the service for our 1-minute miracle. It's time where you can share with him whatever challenge you are experiencing, and he will stop, drop, and pray with you right then and there. And you reach out to him through video chat. And if he doesn't answer right away, it means he's on the phone with someone else. So just be patient and call back in a little while. If you would like to receive prayer, again, put it in the comment section or message us if you don't want it to be public. If you would like to participate on our God Squad, you don't have to be a licensed practitioner. You do, however, have to be willing to do the spiritual mind treatment, the affirmative prayer, every day for a week, and follow through with that. If you would like to participate in that, please say yes in the comment section, and Faith will add you to our private group page for for the God Squad. And the only people that see that are the people that are on the God Squad, so it is private. And then if you would like to be part of our public-facing group page, that is our online community, put more in the comments, and Faith will add you to that public-facing one that is public. All right, quickly, I'm going to go through just some supportive people that I want to acknowledge. First of all, we have Brooks and Bailey. Everything, all the proceeds benefit the Rocky Mountain Lab Rescue. You can contact her through Brooks and Bailey 0307 at gmail.com. This is one of her bracelets. Oops, no, the other hand. This is one of her bracelets with this great, I don't know if you can see how this works, but it's a great, it doesn't fall off. I love it. And it's very cute. I think it's very pretty. Anyway, yeah, contact her, get some prayer beads or bracelets or something like that. And then also we have Faith, who is going to talk about hers.
This is a metaphysical shop with bath salts as well as intention jars. Definitely check it out. It helps with manifesting. You can use this through while you're working on your prayer as well. We have them ranging from $7 all the way to $50, depending on what size you would like. And then Tucker has an example for you as well.
Yes. Here is my intention jar for prosperity, and it's $15. So support Faith. We love to support those that support us, just like we support Reverend Fairy Elaine because of the music that she's provided. Faith has her website up here. You will have to, she travels around a lot, spreading her artistic songs everywhere. And so you have to reach her by email to find out where to send the money. And then Elaine Silver, Karen Drucker, thank you. Her website information is up there. She has gifted us with her entire collection of 20 CDs, songbooks, sing-alongs, all of that, so that we can do our services. So we really appreciate her. Go to her website. You can purchase one song or a CD or a songbook. Some of the songbooks even have American Sign Language in them for people who like to sign. And so take advantage of this. She is awesome, and we would love to have you support her. Like I said, we like to support those who support us. And then check out our website, oasiscsl.org. You can see our current sermons here or on YouTube. You can see our past sermons in past years on SoundCloud or on our website as well. All right, let's move into our closing song now. Again, sing it loud and sing it proud if you know the words. They're easy.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed.
thank you for being here, everyone. We are so grateful you're here with us. Join us every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time. We love having you here. From our team, everybody, we love you. Thank you for being here. Stay safe, wear a mask, get your vaccination, all that. We love you. Bye.
Namaste.